Hi, and welcome to Happy Fisherman Adventures.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.
Let's start today's episode with a happy story. Our friend Sev, that you saw in previous episodes, her brother Vic took his son-in-law Anthony out for snapper fishing, and the happy story is, after 65 years, he managed to catch his first, second, and third snapper in one day.
Kudos to him. Well done, Vic. Well done. Anyway, today's episode, we're going to have a few adventures. So first one is with young Ryder from work, Geelong Marine World. He came with us one afternoon and we were looking for snapper everywhere. Unfortunately, we got smashed by pinkies, so you're going to see that in first video. Second video is actually myself. I went by myself. I took the big boat. The plan was to go jackrabbit, get some squid, which I did, and I got some, and then go to Old Channel and chase some snapper. Unfortunately, better turn, U-turn, I come home. So if we got enough time, we got our friend Brett Dennis. He was actually onto some King George whiting at St Leonards. Key, late afternoon. So let's watch the first video. This adventure is from last week, and we got young Ryder from Geelong Marine World joining us while trying to get some snapper. Our mission today was to scan the channel in front of Clifton Springs from the bend towards the obviously old channel. And if we're gonna see something, we're gonna stop. If not, we're gonna end up at the old channel or at Steampack and see if we can get something decent over there. We spent about half an hour just scanning around, but we could not see nothing that was promising, so we decided let's go to the old channel. Old channel sometimes produces a really nice fish, or sometimes you just have to put up with lots and lots of pinkies. Quickly we set up the cameras, start cutting some bait, and we loaded some big rods, small rods, you name it. We put everything in the water, and before you realize, Mima was on a little pinky. That wasn't very promising because when the pinkies are around, it's very hard to get a big fish. Well, it's very hard to keep the bait on the hook for more than a minute. And that's hard because obviously the big fish doesn't have a chance. Saying that, we still had fun with light rods, just catching little pinkies and of course putting them back. At first, Ryder was watching Mima catching one by one, but then he got the trick and he started catching as well. Now, they are small pinkies, but on a light rod, 1 to 3 kilo rod, they put a bit of a fight. So yeah, it's fun. And have a look at this. First and double. In less than 20 minutes, we already had over 20 fish. But unfortunately, no keepers. And saying that, keepers, we keep fish that are about 35 centimeters and up. The little ones, even they're 28, 30 and they're legal, just not enough meat on them. Mima and Ryder, they used just a small paternoster rig and just a bit of pilchard, and that was it. They were going crazy. I was quite busy, so it was very hard to set up the big rods and put them there because they were bringing fish after fish, so I had to pick them up, put them back in the water, and reload the bait, let's try again. But I was still hoping that one of the big rods will take off. I had paternoster on the big rods with just silver whiting heads. I had obviously some with squid. I had unweighted snell hooks as well with a full pilchard. I had an unweighted snell with a just full silver whiting. But believe it or not, everything that I brought back was empty. It was smashed by this little fish. And then, as we say, we just had enough of these little pinkies. Well, Ryder brings a little flathead. So from bad to worse. We spent about an hour here and then it was time to move. This time we moved towards ball grounds and we gave it a go over there as well. Not even 2 minutes in, I didn't even manage to put all the big rods in. Well, same story. Rima brings another little pinky. Then one of the bigger rods took off with the snell hooks, and guess what? Another little pinky even on that. Ryder brought it in, we put it back. It was unbelievable how much pinkies were underneath us. It was just crazy. By this time I can easily say we had over 100 fish, no one keeper, nothing to brag about it. It was going on and on. It got dark, it got late, and the pinkies were going crazy. So great to be on the water. We were very busy but not productive.
In the next video, you guys are going to see TB's solo session.
Jackrabbit, let's watch. This solo adventure is from 22nd of November, Saturday, late afternoon. I take solo from Clifton Springs to Jackrabbit just to get some squid, and the mission after that was to go back to Old Channel or Spall Grounds to check if there is any snapper. I had to set up my hook'em squid net first, and as you could see I had to move a few times till I found actually a productive patch. I put the camera on and here we go, our first squid on a pink jig. The squid here in this area at the moment is not that big, but there is quite a few around. You just have to find the actually grass patch and yeah, just get onto them. Then, a few minutes on, we're on another one. Same rod, same jig. It's very strange to see that the pink jig in this area works really good. Saying that, St Leonards at the moment mullet jig works a mint. Here I actually today changed a few jigs just to try and see. So I had my pink jig there and I made a couple other rods that I can cast different color jigs. But somehow the pink jig worked a mint. As you can see, I moved a few times and have a look at the ground. So there is sand and there is these small grass patches. You can see the dark patches in front of me. That's where basically we fish. You need to fish those patches. Around here the patches are not massive, so it's not a football ground. It's just like a strip. But those patches do produce, those little patches do produce quite nice squid. And sometimes squid here can be very big as well. Unfortunately today, average size. I just managed to put that second rod in, and as you can see that pink jig, well, the same rod, the same jig took off again. So I don't know, colorblind, whatever it is, it just somehow doesn't add up that they pick up one jig. Here, just remember, once you are out of the grass patches, as you can see it's all sand around me, you need to move. And today I actually made quite a few moves and I moved from patch to patch. But the patch that produced few squid, you go over it a few times. So just explore it as much as you can. Have a look again, another patch right underneath us. As you could see, my solo session went actually quite alright. And the pink jig just worked. I don't know why, but...
Well, I think that's because squid is colorblind.
Yeah, basically. So I had to do quite a few moves. I tried other jigs as well. I did get some on different jigs, but let's watch the second part. As I mentioned before, today I'm going to be trying quite a few jigs. I'm going to keep the pink one in the water all the time, and as you could see I had the mullet, I had the orange, and now I put the actual duo gold jig. So let's see how we go. My next move was even closer to the shore. Here the patch was a little bit bigger, and as you can see both rods took off. So I bring the first squid in, I landed, I used the net, landed, and then I start working on the second squid. With the second squid, you're gonna see I actually just grabbed the rod, made sure the line is tight, and I put it back in the rod holder so I can cast the pink jig back in, just in case we're going over a good patch and we can obviously catch more. It's just important the line not to be loose. So as you can see here, I actually tied it up. I actually casted the pink jig. First I had actually a tentacle on it that I had to take off. So make sure your jigs are always clean, no grass, no anything on it. I casted, and in meantime I bring the second squid in. Now that second squid was on that duo gold jig. That was my first squid that actually I got on different color jig than that pink one. Well, I put this squid away, and yes, I had to go back and try to get over the same patch because it was promising. Keep in mind that once you catch 1, 2, you just keep going over the same ground because there could be 5, 6 there. Once they stop, then move and find another patch. Besides changing jigs, I had to change batteries as well. It's not easy when you're on your own, but it's still fun, it's challenge, and it's enjoyable. Then the third rod that I put on, I put actually a Clicks green and yellow jig, and that one took off. So yeah, it was my second squid that I didn't catch on that pink jig. As you drift, you make sure you cast over those patches. You can see them there, you can see a dark patch on my right hand side. So I cast over it, and as I drift, the jig would come right above it. Now this last squid just happened to make a bit of a mess. Unfortunately, that's squid fishing, you can't help that. While I was washing the floor, I could see a squid right underneath the boat in a sand patch. It was following the boat somehow, so I casted and I tried to hook it, and before you realize, yeah, he took it. Now that's another advice, just make sure that even when you bring one squid in, keep looking behind it because there could be another 1 or 2 following it, and if that happens, just keep that squid in the water, cast behind and try and pick the other ones as well. That one again on that pink jig, then I casted the jig back in the same spot over the grass, and guess what, that pink jig worked again. At this stage I was short 1 squid of my bag limit. But yeah, I started packing up slowly because the wind picked up and I wanted to get to the old channel and try to see if I can get some snappers. I was taking the rods out, putting the squid jigs away, and while I was doing that, well, the number 10 just decided to hook himself up. Today, as you could see, I did not work the rods too much. I casted about 10 meters behind the boat and I used the actual drift in my favor. So basically the jigs were just dragging behind the boat and the squid went bananas. Sometimes when you actually jig and jig hard and whatever, you can spook them as well. So you just have to work what's the best on the day. When the squid is aggressive, you work the rods. When they're passive, you just put them and leave them in the rod holder. And look at this, thank you very much for the last squid, it made a lot of mess.
The next video is footage that we actually received from our friend Brett Dennis.
Well, just over the weekend, Brett and Pat went out of St Leonards. Nothing till 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon, late afternoon, bang, they just went on. So let's watch this video.
Camera's on.
Well, this video is thanks to my friend Brett Dennis, and yeah, he had his camera on his chest and he filmed this adventure where him and Pat were actually smashing King George whiting. Now, I have to be honest, they were out there early and got nothing. After about 6:30, you can see this is what happened. Now, it's only one camera, only one angle, and here we go. Let's have a look. They were fishing St Leonards area towards the yellow stick, and yeah, they actually managed quite a few mixed fish. At first they had some small ones, then after they had some fish in 40s, and yeah, it was very strange. But saying that, you could see just before it was a little tap and nothing, and then you just don't act on it, let it be a little bit longer. Once they grab it, you slowly drag the rod back as Brett just did. Instead of going whack, they're gonna actually take the hook out of their mouth. So slowly drag it back, and they get upset and they chase it. They chase it and they grab it properly. So you got the fish, no problems. Have a look how long it took to get the next fish.
It's funny, for smaller fish, they're fighting. Oh, here we go. Oh, this one's a bit better. Oh, maybe. You're right, or?
While Brett was fighting his King George whiting, Pat got that little salmon, and that salmon went all over the other side and actually tangled a little bit the line, but they managed quite alright to get both fish in and untangle everything, I suppose.
Try to get him without tangling your line too much. Oops, trying to jump overboard. Little Tommy, the salmon.
Best bait today, pippies and mussels. So they had a mixture of pippies and mussels, and both worked just as good.
Let's see, do I put it in the rod holder or just wait? Wait. That's on the pippy too, Pat. Yeah. It's nice to know. Another good fish there. That seems alright. Very good. What have we got there, Pat? Oh, he seems. Yeah, he's that big. Oh, mate, what? What's that measure? That's over 40. Yeah.
At one stage, fish got bigger and they were on very, very quick. So basically every cast there was a fish. And you have to somehow hurry up, because while they're on the chew, you want to do your best and you want to make the most of it. I'll leave this shot as it is. I won't cut it, so have a look. Brett just casted, obviously sits back, and he got a couple small taps, but he didn't act on it.
As I said, they're not as aggressive on the pippy, but they certainly work. Mussel, there we go. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Come on. Go for it, mate. Seems a bit of weight to this one. The reel was down to this outfit. Right, let's catch some fish. So what do I do?
The rigs they were using today is so-called Western Port rig or running rig, or just a plain King George whiting rig where it's a meter leader and just a dropper loop and a sinker attached to it. That's it. Long shank hook at the end, and that's about it.
Fish pad. Yep, different type of fish. Pat, I knew it was different. Grass whiting.
In this area, obviously, predominantly you get King George whiting, but you do get some other species as well.
Yeah, look at Australian salmon.
Then, as it got later in the day, the fish went bananas. They were catching them left, right and center. Some really big ones, some actually really small ones. Few had to go back. Unfortunately you do get a mixed bag here, and you have to go through it. But it is nice, it's actually good fun, and when St Leonards is on fire, it's actually magic. They were fishing till late, and as it got darker, obviously the fish slowed down a little bit, but they were still catching odd fish. At this stage they had just over 30 fish, and that was more than enough for them. They were happy, great bag, and definitely a great day out.
Once again, Melbourne weather has been absolutely spectacular. Unfortunately, it's been tough out there with the wind and the rain moving through, but the snapper have been moving along really, really nicely. Once again, the shallow reefs have been getting the majority of the fish, in that 5 to 6 metre depth of water, but moving out now, we're starting to see some fish moving into that 12 to 15 metre mark. So here at the outer anchorage, P2, moving even across to the spoil ground for the guys who want to travel out a little bit further and have a look. So best baits again have been silver whiting in particular this last few days. Yakkers, obviously pilchards and squid have been doing their job as well. A little bit of patience required to dodge these weather breaks and keep an eye on that barometer, because the fish, the snapper in particular, do react heavily to that. So sometimes we're going to get that big falling barometer, push back into those shallow areas because those fish will still feed, whereas those fish out in that deeper water will be a little bit more hesitant to come on the bite. Again, all the same areas have been fishing well. Along the channel there at Geelong has been fantastic. Some good sized fish coming through there. The land-based guys are still smashing good fish on all the usual horns. So Port Arlington, Lonsdale's been doing reasonably well. Even the inner harbour there at Queenscliff, in the harbour at Queenscliff, and some nice pinkies in there as well. Whiting have been fantastic again. Good sized fish, a little bit scattered. So St Leonards has been producing some nice fish. That entrance to Swan Bay has been very, very good, although it has been a little bit weedy. The quality of the fish have been fantastic and worth putting up with the weed down there. And we're starting to see a few fish moving up here off Werribee as well, which will only improve as it warms up and settles down. Good schools of salmon have been moving around this top end of the bay. There's no rhyme or reason to where they're going to turn up. The last couple of days there's been a few fish around that Point Cook area, but they could turn up Altona, Port Melbourne. So just keep your eyes out open. If you see those birds working, come across and throw some lures or do some slow trawling through there. Great fun to catch, make a good bait, and they're not bad on the chew if you're bleeding them up. Once again, the weather is starting to settle and improve, so let's get out there and have a great time, guys.
Well, we did get some pictures with some snapper, with some gummy shark, so people are still catching. It's really hard because this weather has been shocking.
I know.
So let's hope the wind's going to go down. Saying that, next Saturday we don't care, because next Saturday we got a concert. It's Australian rock legends like Lindsay Field, Sam C, Glenn, Angus. They're all going to be performing at Park Hall in Port Arlington.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great night.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be an awesome night. And once again, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, write us a comment, press the like button, and we will see you next time.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.